Aloha beloveds, this is Ayakamana Kai saying hello from Maui. I hope you had a potent and powerful new moon in Aries. She just went new last night. And so we're still in this new moon portal where it's a beautiful time to set your intentions, to do some shed and release work, to really look forward to the cycle ahead of you. And I wanted to share a little bit about what I'm going to be doing myself with this next moon cycle. So from this new moon, which was in Aries, to the new moon in May, which is in Taurus, I'm going to be leading a month-long initiation into the blood mysteries. The course is called Power in My Blood. I am so excited about it. This feels like over a decade's worth of self-study, personal reflection, embodied experience. And I feel so passionately about talking about my blood, about our moon cycles, about how to really harness that power and harness that energy for yourself. So we're going to be flowing. Our very first call is on Wednesday night, and then we'll have 5 live calls from this Wednesday, and then we end actually on the 14th of May, directly after the Taurus new moon. And I think what I want to talk about right now is menstruation as a rite of passage. You know, here, most of us have grown up in the West, and arguably we've lost a lot of our rites of passage. So what does a rite of passage do? It marks important times in your life, and it marks a portal or a new sense of identity, a new sense of power that you're stepping into. And if you look at ancient cultures across the world, you can see fragments of the celebration of moon blood and stories of when a woman would start to, or when a girl would start to bleed for the very first time. It was like a huge celebration, not only within her own family, but within the greater community. So imagine, I want you to take a moment, if you're a woman, and think back to the very first day that you bled. Do you remember how it happened? Do you remember noticing it first? What did your mother have to teach you? Did you know what was happening? Maybe there was some fear. I know for myself that my mom was quick to kind of educate me on how to use a pad, how to use a tampon. But I remember the first few days of bleeding being like really uncomfortable and somehow laden with shame. Already from that young age, I had already been taught the shame of being a woman who bleeds. And I'm curious what your experiences are. If you're watching this video, drop it in, and you feel to drop it in the chats below. I'd love to feel you. And yeah, I just want you to again drop into, how would your life be different? How would your experience as woman be different if on the very first day that you bled, your community circled around you and said, yes, we are celebrating you. You are becoming a woman. This marks this miraculous portal that's open inside of your body to create life. And with that same energy, with that same portal, you can create anything and everything that you want in your life. That you have the power of divinity stored inside of your womb. And that this blood is a sacred fluid. It's a part of you that is so beautiful. And it's a part of you that connects you to your own divinity. So I'm curious, how would your life be different if you grew up with that frame of your moon time, with that frame of your menstruation, right? And we know through stories that this was in fact how many ancient cultures and tribes handled menses. In fact, there's stories of sometimes the entire tribe ingesting a little bit of moon blood when a woman bled for the first time as a way of taking in that medicine. It was also a way of bonding the community together because they could become of one blood by all ingesting the moon blood of the maiden, right? And instead, I feel as though we live in a society that has created a lot of shame and a lot of fear around our blood. And always curious for myself, why is that? Why is it that we are so afraid of this? And in fact, blood often is a taboo subject, right? Growing up as a woman, you're like constantly afraid that your blood's gonna leak out if you're bleeding. You don't want other people to smell it. You definitely don't want other people to see stains. You know, so many women tell me stories of being with their beloveds for the first time and like bleeding on the sheets or something, and the amount of shame to be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I just ruined your sheets, or something like that. Why is it that we carry so much shame? Why is it that we carry so much sadness when in fact for a long time across the world, blood was celebrated? So in Japan, where I come from, the Ainu people, they're one of the indigenous population of Japan. The women would wear this almost like this backwards apron when they would bleed, and it was called an osoro. And that cloth, she would drip her blood down onto that cloth. And a partner or a male family member would, after that bleed, ask for just a piece of the scarf, a piece of the cloth that was soaked in her blood, and it would become a talisman, and it would become an honor for him to wear that. And it was meant to bring fortune, good luck, especially in business, especially in big financial deals. They would always travel with that piece of the medicine of the woman's blood, right? And so I feel as though those of us that grew up in Western households, we've grown up with this distorted view of our blood. And when we feel ashamed of our blood, it's almost like we're feeling ashamed of a part of us, a part of our femininity, and actually a part of our power. And as you all probably know, so many of the things that hold the most power in our lives have become taboo or forbidden, whether it's sex or money or blood. There are so many of these parts of our inherent and primal power that have been viewed as something to be feared, something to be ashamed of. And I believe that that's because in the past there were many distortions, you know, whether it was sex or money or blood. There's been so many people who've distorted the power, the potency, the medicine of these sacred things. But part of the initiation of the power in my blood is to really come back home to the sacred understanding of our own bodily fluids, to fall in love with this ritual of life and death and rebirth that happens inside of your body every single month, every single month. And it's my relationship to my blood that has created really my own connection to divinity. My own connection to really knowing deeply who I am. When I'm connected to my blood, I feel my intuition awaken. I feel more confident. I trust myself. I feel this really deep resonance and inner connection with not only my own divinity, but the divinity of woman, the divinity of mankind, really. And so the journey into blood has been such a powerful journey for me. And I feel like my relationship to my blood spirals out into every aspect of who I am as a sister, as a friend, as a community member, who I am in my offerings, how I show up for myself, how I show up for other people. And so I'm really framing this moon cycle as a revisiting of this rite of passage, as a revisiting of not only of the knowledge of the blood mysteries, but really an embodiment of it, feeling it pulsing through your whole body, bringing it in through your breath, through your movement, through your sound, and really knowing this visceral primal power and allowing it to awaken inside of your being from the inside out. So if you're sitting there still through this whole video, if you're feeling the call of this initiation, I would so love for you to join me. There's only one day left to join. I'm going to be closing the doors Tuesday night at 9 p.m. And then we have our first call on Wednesday. I would so be honored to have you journey with me in this month-long initiation. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me or to reach out to me in some way. And either way, I hope that this will start to shift your own relationship to your blood. That at the very least that you would start to view your blood in a different way, right? When I start to bleed, my response is like, yes, I'm so excited. I celebrate my blood. Even if I feel some pain or some inward, it's like, I know that this is a time for me to go into my own internal wisdom. I know this is a time for me to go into my own womb cave. And I deeply celebrate that cycle. I deeply celebrate that natural rhythm that's happening inside of my body. So put the registration link below. I hope you decide to join me. And regardless, have a beautiful, beautiful rest of this new moon portal. Sending so much love to you.